back to my channel, and if you're new here, then welcome. My name is Maddie, and today I'll be sharing the books that I read in the month of March. In March, I read a total of 6 books, which is good. I can't remember how many I read in February. I think it was around like 7, so I read about the same in March as I did in February, so I think 7 and 6 is my average right now, which I'm totally fine with. Not rushing myself through reading. I've already went over that. I am taking my time this time so I do not get tired of reading too much and don't go off the grid and quit reading for a year again, because I don't want that to happen again. So I'm like trying to read a lot slower. Most of them, in fact, were rereads because I was reading 𝑓𝑟𝑢𝑖𝑡𝑠 𝐵𝑎𝑠𝑘𝑒 manga, which I've read so many times. So I was reading some of the volumes from that series, and we're going to get into that in a minute. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just get right into this wrap up. I'm trying to fix my little cat ear. It's not symmetrical with the other one. That's somewhat better. So I will go over the stats for this month like I've usually done in past wrap ups. So let's read them all. So like I said, in March, I read 6 books, and I read a total of 1,541 pages. 4 of the books I read were released in 2005, 1 was released in 2014, and 1 was released in 2015. 4 of the books were contemporary books, and 2 of them were urban fantasy, paranormal books, which are pretty much the same thing, I guess, but they were urban fantasy books that both had a sprinkle of paranormal in them as well. For the age ranges, I read 5 books that were young adult books, and 1 was a new adult. 4 of the books were rereads, and that was all of the books from the 𝑓𝑟𝑢𝑖𝑡𝑠 𝐵𝑎𝑠𝑘𝑒 series. All were by female authors. All of the books were by authors that I had read before. 4 of them took place in Japan. 1 was in a fantasy setting, although it was an urban fantasy setting. Either I cannot remember the town it took place in, or it's actually a fantasy setting, and that's why I can't remember where it took place. So we're just going to go with it was a fantasy setting. And 1 took place in New Orleans, Louisiana. 4 of them were manga, and 2 of them were just your old fashion novels. And for the ratings, I rated 5 of them 5 stars and 1 of them 3 stars. So a really good reading month. A lot of 5 stars, mostly 5 stars. And I did not participate in any readathons this month, not that I can remember. I cannot remember if I participated in any in March. So we're just gonna say I did not participate in any readathons this month. So let's go into what I actually read this month. Let's get into the rereads first. So like I mentioned, I reread some of 𝑓𝑟𝑢𝑖𝑡𝑠 𝐵𝑎𝑠𝑘𝑒 this month, which was volumes 9, 10, 11, and 12. So I purposely started in the middle of the series instead of going all the way back to the beginning, because I wanted to read what was going to be covered in season 2, and season 2 should start at volume 9. So that's why I started there and just continue reading on. Basically, if you have read this series, I just reread the beach arc this month, and that's it. Which is my favorite arc, so like I really enjoyed this, and I'm so excited to see it in the anime. I just specifically picked these up and reread the beach arc just to refresh my memory on everything that happens during that part, since I know it's going to be at the beginning of season 2, so I just wanted to remember everything so that I can properly compare it to the anime, which I am so excited for. 1 week away, guys. 1 week, less than a week now. I cannot believe it. Finally a season 2. So yeah, anyway, these were really fun to reread. I always love rereading this series. I never get tired of it. And of course, they were all 5 stars. Now getting into the 2 books that I did not reread this month, starting with my least favorite to my most favorite. So my least favorite this month was The Darkest Part of the Forest by Holly Black. So this book was a little disappointing, obviously, because it's my least favorite of the month. I'll go into what it's about first. So this book is about this town that's famous for this fairy prince that sleeps in a casket in the middle of a forest in the town until our main character finds him awake when he's been asleep for 100 years. So that's what the premise is. I will say though, the actual setting of this book was really cool. I like how it has fairies in it. Obviously, I've mentioned before how much I love fairies and fairy books, so I'm all about that. The atmosphere of this book, really well done. The writing was excellent. I just had a problem with some of the characters. I think a lot of them were really underdeveloped and the plot of it was really slow. It took me forever to actually get invested in this book, so that was a bummer. And I was really hoping to love this one because I really loved Holly Black's book, The Coldest Girl in Cold Town. That was like a 5-star read. I thought it was amazing. This one was not as good, so my expectations were really high and they just weren't met, so yeah, I was a little let down. If you want to know more of my in-depth thoughts about this book, I do have a spoiler-free review on it that I just made, so you can check out that review if you want to, but those are just my thoughts in a nutshell, and I gave this 3 stars. This ear just does not want to stay up. It just doesn't. You know why? Because my hair on this side is a lot thinner than on this side. That's why. It's like, ugh, whatever. And my favorite book that I read this month, and this was another fairy book, so I read 2 fairy books this month. I guess I was in the fairy mood and just didn't know it. And that was Wicked by Jennifer L. Armentrout. And sorry, I'm getting distracted. I just got this new tripod that comes with a ring light, and you can really see the glare in the iPad. Oh my god. Okay, like right, let's do it. We just gotta hold it far away from me. I guess that works. Okay, anyway, going into this one, what I thought about it. So let's go over the premise first. So this is a book that takes place in New Orleans, which was really cool. And in this world, there are fairies, like I mentioned, and there's this organization of humans whose job is to kill off the fairies and stop them from wreaking havoc among mankind. So our main character is a part of this organization who hunts down fairies, and she gets paired up with this guy who is new to the area, who is also a fairy hunter, and they get paired up and a romance ensues. And that's what it's all about. So this one is definitely heavy on the romance, which I am all for because I love my romance. And this romance was really well done. A lot of tension, a lot of steaminess in it. I will say this is not a book you should read if you are under the age of 18. It is considered new adult for a reason, because it has some mature themes in it. So just be wary of that. But if you're okay with that, this book was so good. It had so much mystery, so many plot twists, especially like at the last page. I was like, wow. I will say though, the plot twist, the major one, I did see coming. Like, I think it's impossible not to see it coming because it's so blatantly obvious, but it didn't take away from the shock factor at all. It was still like, wow, okay, yeah, that actually happened. That's where this is going. And it makes me even more excited to continue on with this series. This is an older series. It's an older one of Jennifer's that I just have not jumped on yet for a while, but I'm definitely going to continue on with it. And I'm excited to see where it goes. So this one was a for sure 5 out of 5 stars. And those were all the books that I read this month. Wow. My wrap-ups are quick nowadays. I remember when I was doing wrap-ups a year ago, and I would sit here filming for, like, legit, I want to say an hour. I mean, it was ridiculous. And now I've been filming for 10 minutes, so that was really nice. They're just quick and to the point. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know the books that you read in March. If you read any, I would really like to know. And let me know if you've read any of the books that I have mentioned in this video. What did you think of them? Did you like them? Did you hate them? I want to know, so let me know. And again, hope you enjoyed the video. And if you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more anime-related videos, anime reactions, and book-related videos. Also, be sure to hit that notification bell if you don't want to miss any videos from me and you want to be notified. Be sure to do that, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.